Tonight, a person dies in a Newtown house fire.
Multiple bins set ablaze across the CBD.
New protections for the Great Artesian Basin.
And the program helping youth get back on track.
This is 7 News with Brough and Joanne Desmond.
Good evening. Thanks very much for joining us.
Good evening.
An elderly man has died after a house fire in Newtown. Emergency services were called to the blaze on Wallace Street just before 3 this afternoon, with reports a man was missing. The 89-year-old was rescued by fire crews after he was reportedly trapped inside.
The members of the public did try to attempt to extinguish the fire. Due to the intensity of the fire, that was unsuccessful.
Police are investigating.
Multiple bins have been set alight across Toowoomba CBD, leaving a damage bill in the thousands. Emergency service crews were putting out one fire as others were lit across the street.
Flames and smoke engulfed bins in multiple Toowoomba CBD car parks overnight. The plastic bins melted, leaving rubbish strewn across the road.
We've received a number of calls regarding wheelie bins and industrial bins on fire.
As soon as one fire was extinguished, another was lit in the same street.
Behind the Norville Hotel. The other one was in behind Rumours nightclub and another one in a laneway adjacent to that nightclub.
The walls of businesses were left charred. A quick-thinking community member stepped in to help.
Thankfully, one of the local civilians managed to put the bulk of the fire out, and we ensured that that bin wasn't going to reignite and set fire to the side of the building.
One of the businesses told 7 News they caught one of the offenders on CCTV. But so far, they haven't heard any updates from police.
At this point, we're not sure how they've all started. They are under suspicion. Police will investigate.
Olivia Babb, 7 News.
The Miles government has announced plans to ban the Great Artesian Basin from being used for carbon capture and storage. The move has been described as a win for the state, the environment and our farmers.
A gift from the Merway Mayor to Premier Stephen Miles.
That's good water.
The H2O straight from the Great Artesian Basin, something the state government now wants to protect by announcing plans to ban carbon capture and storage projects.
The Great Artesian Basin is just too important to Queensland to mess with.
The basin covers roughly 65% of Queensland. Farmers and local governments have been lobbying for protections for years.
Honestly, we've just been through 9 years of drought in the 2010 to 2019, and that's the only thing that kept us going in Western Queensland was our water resource that we could rely on.
It comes as the Environment Department rejected a carbon capture proposal by Glencore last week. It found to have potential impacts on water resources in Moonee.
No matter what the science says, there is no guarantees in this stuff.
The agricultural industry and the state now wants Canberra to follow suit with federal protections across the entire basin.
We will see technologies developed over those next couple of decades that will allow us to achieve net zero by 2050 without CCS.
The new laws are expected to be passed before October's state election. Josh van Staden, 7 News.
Beef exporters are already seeing positive signs with an increase of 20 cents per kilo at an Elders cattle sale today after China lifted its ban on beef shipments. Suspensions were lifted on most Australian processors, but 2 Queensland meatworks remain suspended.
The beef export market was once worth about $1 billion, but a trade war sparked in 2020 changed everything. Now 5 major Australian meat producers are clawing their way back.
We welcome this development and in fact thank the Chinese ambassador here in Canberra.
China easing its ban on Aussie beef is already making a difference. Cattle prices have increased by 20 cents per kilo at an Elders cattle sale in regional Queensland.
I think the market's responded quite strongly already. We hosted the Elders special feeder and weaner sale in Dalby today with just under 2,000 head.
2 abattoirs in Queensland still have bans, but the Nationals leader hopes operations can resume soon.
Sadly, there's still 2 facilities that haven't been lifted. One of those is in Maranoa, and I'm hoping that in the coming weeks that we may see that ban lifted.
It's now a wait and see if China will also lift the rock lobster ban, which has been in place since 2020.
Well, we're hoping that when the Chinese Premier comes here next month, that there'll be further announcements, not just on the last two processes to be allowed back into China, but also the tariffs on lobster be removed. They have shown great intent.
Ben Meehan, 7 News.
Road safety advocates have banded together in a desperate plea to drivers to help tackle the rising road toll. Today is Fatality Free Friday, but police say motorists should always remember to put safety first.
1,273 photos are hanging on this wall. Each one represents a life lost on Australian roads in 2023. A confronting display to spread an important message for Fatality Free Friday.
Road trauma is the biggest killer of Australian children aged between 1 and 14.
Yesterday, another tragic day on Queensland roads. 54-year-old Stephen Wheeler and his mother and father in their 80s never made it to their destination.
Between 5 and 6 Australians will be killed on Australian roads every single Friday. So if we can try and improve that, have one fatality-free Friday, we hope it's a stepping stone to ultimately a fatality-free future.
For every person killed on the roads, 40 more are injured, like crash survivor Dinesh Palapana.
I haven't been able to use my fingers, I haven't been able to walk, and the impact on my life, I feel every single day.
Their stories are a stark reminder the key to a fatality-free future is in our hands.
When you're speeding, you've got less time to perceive, less time to react, and less time to actually get yourself out of a situation.
Inside a car, sometimes we think that we're invincible, but really, we're not.
Tiani Reid, 7 News.
New traffic lights have been installed at Carney Spring to improve safety. Residents from Willow Glen retirement community say they've been campaigning for 2 decades to get them.
About 200 odd cars every day, in and out, and we needed the lights badly.
The group created a petition which was signed by more than 1,200 people demanding the intersection be upgraded.
A Toowoomba program is turning lives around and helping troubled youths to get back on track. Emerge provides crisis accommodation and a warm meal. But the CEO says the real superpower are the kids, helping other kids to do the right thing.
A life of drugs, crime and juvenile detention. Jaden Summerfield has looked back on where he was a few years ago.
I was really bad on the pills and all the drugs and that. I loved juvie back then. That was my home.
Choosing a new environment and breaking the cycle has changed his life.
I was sick of my life how I was living for a while. But I'd get out, I'd go to the same place, and within a week I'd be doing crime.
He has a job, he's living in a new home and feeling positive.
I'm proud I come here and met Jen, the one I did, because I don't know how it would have turned out if I didn't meet Jen.
Crisis accommodation is available for anyone up to the age of 21. There's also a rainbow room for emergency stays with a bed and a warm meal. Emerge is designed to help youths turn their lives around.
If you don't belong somewhere in a society that, accepts you and loves you and wraps around you, then you're going to find that in bad places.
Emerson Franks is another teenager who's been struggling. Couch surfing was the safest option, but not always possible.
Some nights I'd be sleeping in parks and stuff.
He had a job interview today and everyone was helping him prepare. For most of these kids, they just want to feel like they belong.
I just want to get my life back on track and have a job for the rest of my life, get my own place eventually.
Jen says it's the youths themselves that really make the difference.
The youth workers are incredible here, but the real big superpower is the other kids. They've always been the ones that bring other kids in, and they're the superpower to getting kids doing the right thing.
Olivia Babb, 7 News.
And ahead in 7 News tonight, a computer scientist warning about leaving kids to their own devices.
And the truck driving home the importance of cancer research.
Stream 7 News anywhere, anytime, live and on demand on 7plus. And with 7news.com.au, you'll know the news now.
Thanks for joining us here on 7. Or do you perhaps have a neighbour who loves lending a hand, or know a local business that's always willing to fund a community project? Well, now there is a way to thank them by nominating them for the 2024 7 News Queensland Community Achievement Awards. There are 8 awards up for grabs, with the full details of each category available online. Nominations close on Wednesday, August 15.
A big rig is hitting the road in Toowoomba, driving a message about the importance of cancer research. Gatton Transport Company's decked out at Kenworth to help the Icon Cancer Foundation raise awareness and money to advance treatments.
This bold purple freight truck is promoting a powerful message between Gatton and Sydney. Nolan's Interstate Transport has collaborated with not-for-profit Icon Cancer Foundation to paint the phrase "Longer, better lives for cancer patients through research" on the truck.
The research that we're currently focusing on is mainly into breast, prostate, skin, and we are looking to expand into the areas of brain and lung cancers.
It's a cause close to the Nolan family after losing loved ones to the disease.
We have family members. My husband's father passed away, but he had some research trials done through Icon Cancer, and as well his brother too.
Cancer Australia estimates a person has a 1 in 7 risk of dying from cancer by the age of 85.
Cancer's not going to go away. Cancer doesn't wait for anyone. So we need to accelerate our cancer research.
To donate, visit the Icon Cancer Foundation website. Ben Meehan, 7 News.
Using social media may seem harmless, and it can be, but an American computer scientist says overuse can be as bad as heroin and cocaine addiction. Brad Huddleston has joined Queensland Police touring the state to warn about the dangers of digital addiction.
It's the modern way to communicate. But US researcher and author Brad Huddleston says children are quickly becoming addicted to their devices.
We're seeing the problems with digital addiction increase all over the world. The brain scans are showing identical addiction as those who would be addicted to cocaine and heroin.
He's teamed with Queensland Police to help warn about dangers of increased online exposure.
While the good is there, we have unintended consequences in the form of ADHD, suicidal ideation, depression, anxiety disorders.
There is an increase in bullying complaints coming through to QPS, violent outbursts as well from children from excessive use of digital devices and social media.
He's hoping his contribution will make a big difference.
This is my first country of 4 on this tour, so I've been very busy. This is school number 18.
Children have been engaging so well and asking really important questions.
Spreading the message before it's too late.
He's doing amazing work and just, providing education to children on how to monitor their own usage as well.
We had a huge shift away from what we call the analog world, which is actually healthy for the brain, into the digital world, and so we need to balance that out.
Savannah Burke, 7 News.
Yeah, it's a really interesting topic. All right, let's have a look at what's happening in sport.
Both our Mountaineers men, mate, back in the winners' circle, eh?
They are indeed. Brough and Toowoomba will be looking to stay on a roll when they face the reigning 2-time QSL basketball champions. More on that next. And why the Maroons coach shifted Clydesdale. And welcome back. Well, the Queensland women's side have entered their camp down on the Gold Coast to prepare for Thursday night's must-win second Origin in Newcastle. Following the loss,
we missed far too many tackles, and I think we need to bolster the middle of the field. So moving Sienna Lafippo in there to make her debut, which I'm really excited about, and then pushing Ali back out to her preferred position was where we went with. Gives me goosebumps. It's exciting times, and I get emotional about it because it's come so far.
Fellow Clydesdales Kezzy Apps and Keely Davis arrived in Blues camp yesterday. The Mountaineers men are hoping to continue their climb up the QSL basketball ladder when they head down the M1 tomorrow. It'll be their second hit out against the Gold Coast Rollers in the space of 2 weeks. This time the Toowoomba side's hoping they can reverse last weekend's result.
After a pair of fixtures last round, the Mountaineers are looking forward to just one match this weekend at the crucial halfway point in the season.
I guess both teams are a bit banged up, so going into a single game this weekend then having a bye is really good for us. So it allows us to put all our energy in it. It gives us a focus on that team.
The men will be out for vengeance after losing to Gold Coast last week, and Coach Connolly says team harmony is headed in the right direction.
I felt that they were all trying to compete for spots initially, trying to compete with each other rather than compete with each other. It was the big focus this week is to address that.
Adam Garrick continues to lead from the front, scoring over 15 points in each of his last 3 games since returning from injury.
Adam's a bucket. He's a class player in this league. He's a true leader of our group, and he tries to lead by example. We just need guys to go with him, and we've got the troops there, and we've got guys that can shoot, we've got guys that can score and get on the rim.
The women sit in second, but the competition is neck and neck. They're currently just 1 win ahead of the 6th place Southern Districts.
This is essentially a must-win weekend for us, and then we want to build into 3 of our final 4 games being at home. Great opportunity for us to finish the season strong and be able to claim that 2nd place.
Tomorrow's matches get underway at Carrara Stadium with the ladies up first at 1. Jack Lewis, 7 News.
And racing returns at Clifford Park tomorrow. Here now with his best bets, it's our resident expert, Chris Nelson.
Thanks, Nathan. Racing as per usual in the Twilight Zone at Clifford Park tomorrow evening. 7 races. The action kicks off at 4:40. Let's find some winners. Race 1, number 2, Master Maurice. Georgie Cartwright will take the ride here. Lightly raced from the Mark Curry yard. Quite promising. He's won 2 of his 5 starts. He was a winner at Eagle Farm first up last preparation. Just get the feeling he'll be too strong for the opposition tomorrow night. Race 4, number 1, Capitan de Cedar. Now, he messed up the start here 2 starts back. Then he closed the race off very well. He went to Warwick last time out and he again made some ground. Now, he's widely drawn here. He will get back, but stepping up to a mile might just be what he's looking for. And we'll round it out with race 6, number 3, Drangatang. Total forgive run here last start. The jock originally went forward from wide out, couldn't get across, then he went back. What unfolded was a complete train wreck. Prior run was good, lands on speed tomorrow night. Stick with him, he can make amends. That's it for me for this week. Whatever you're doing, I hope you have a great weekend. Hopefully I found you a few winners. It's back to you, Nathan.
Good on you, Chris. Enjoy the weekend. Get ready for a big week. 2 Origins next week. How good is that going to be?
Looking forward to it, mate. Thank you, Nathan.
All right, we'll stay with us after the break. Livio joins us and he'll have all the weekend weather details for us.
Hello there, Livio Regano with tonight's weather. Showers are beginning to clear the tropics, but in the south they're doing just the opposite. A wave of modest but steady rain is already affecting the Darling Downs and should reach southern coastal areas by tomorrow afternoon, clearing on Sunday with a sunny southwesterly change to herald the start of winter. 21 degrees the top in Toowoomba today after a low this morning of 13. Warwick, Dalby and Kingaroy got to 24, Applethorpe 19. Hygrometer reading at the airport was 65%. To the satellite loop, we'll start with the tropics first. Most of the showers have contracted north to the Cassary and Daintree coasts, a little bit around Cairns, nothing left around the Herbert Burdekin and very little around the central coast and Whitsundays as well. However, this next big band of sheet cloud is now quickly moving in from the west. It's already started raining over the Downs, just light stuff in the central highlands, and tomorrow, probably through afternoon, it'll reach coastal parts in the form of moderate rain. Today's chart, on the surface we have a cold front connected to a trough, and remember there's an upper level system as well, and that's generating that big band of sheet cloud. In the tropics, isobars have pulled apart, so the winds are lighter and consequently the showers are starting to clear. Tomorrow's chart, the trough and frontal system moves into southeast Queensland, pole position for an afternoon of rain. It'll start earlier, of course, inland and probably reach the central southern coast later. And then on the outlook chart, that system moves offshore as a low spins up off the New South Wales coast. A dry, cool southwesterly change comes through for Sunday, Monday. Now the latest from the Weather Bureau. Darling Downs and Granite Belt. We got rain tomorrow and possible thunderstorms in the mix as well. Dalby 21 degrees, Gundawindi and Toowoomba 19, Warwick 20. For the southeast coast, rain developing, some early fog inland. Gatton and Ipswich 24 degrees, Brisbane 25. Looking ahead for Toowoomba, colder, drier southerlies on Monday should quickly give way to moisture-laden winds from the ocean by midweek. restoring cloud cover and raising nighttime temperatures once again. For Warwick, we've got that cool change bringing nighttime temperatures down. Tuesday onwards, we're down into single digits, only 2 degrees Wednesday morning. And for Dalby, it's the same. The rain will finish by Sunday, and then it's cool nights, but partly cloudy days for the remainder of the week. And that's it for this week, Folkaronis. Pleasure to have your company as always, and thanks for watching 7 Local Weather. I'll be back on Monday with the next instalment. Hope you can join me. Now it's back to the team.
You're wonderful, Liv. Good on you, mate. That wraps it up. Have a good weekend, won't you? We'll see you Monday.
And also a reminder, you can watch a replay of our news on the 7plus app or our page 7news.com.au. From all of us here, enjoy your weekend. Good night.
Good night.